Okay, so in the spirit of becoming better people at understanding the One Piece story, I want to talk about why we should leave Warlord Level behind as soon as possible, and also why we shouldn't power scale Warlords very seriously. We can, now I'm not saying we can't power scale them, but not very seriously at all, I would say. Just depends whether, we're discussing whose headcanon makes it more exciting or whatever, but not seriously to predict the story, because that is just a setup for disappointment, and really you're just making fun of yourself, right? So starting off with Warlord Level. Warlord Level is not a thing because it does not follow the general trend for which we make levels and tiers, right? Because at the end of the day, the whole thing with our power scaling and Warlord levels and tiers and how strong characters are is because not every character has fought every character. And so we need some kind of level we can put this character on so we can compare them to other characters and see how matchups which have never happened may occur and what the outcome may be, what it means for the story, what it means for our enjoyment, what it means for the fight scenes, what it means for the growth and everything that goes on with that. But with Warlord, the problem is that we don't have a general trend in the Warlords that gives us this picture of, on average, what a random Warlord strength would look like. For the Yonko, it's been pretty much established how a lot of the Yonko are similar strength to each other. So it makes sense if we use this Yonko level as a baseline to assume a character strength, and then from there we take context clues in the story and we adjust our perception of the character a bit as the story goes. For example, people like Shanks has been portrayed to be similar to Whitebeard. Whitebeard has been portrayed to be similar to Roger. Shanks has been portrayed to be similar to Kaido. And same thing with Big Mom. And so we can say that they're on a similar level, all those characters, right? So now when we came from the timescape and we heard that Blackbeard was a Yonko, we could assume a similar thing for Blackbeard. Of course, after that, we take facts of the story, when Black became a Yonko, what he's doing in the world right now, and everything that he has said and done, and we adjust our perception of Blackbeard a bit so it fits roundabout where he actually is in strength. But with the Warlords, because of how varied they are in strength, this is not true. Now, of course, I did go ahead and make a video talking about how strong I think the Warlords are. And of course, that video served a different purpose in itself. It was more speculative of the whole power of the Warlords as a whole and not really as individuals. And that's why that video is still relevant and you should probably go watch that. But this video, I'm talking about saying how strong each individual Warlord is and trying to create a level in which we think all the Warlords exist. And I'm saying that doesn't exist. They are all different, different levels in terms of strength. You might find 2 of them or rarely even 3 of them together, but everyone else is so scattered that trying to make one level doesn't work. Right? So if you want to go on your own tangent and you're just thinking about the story to yourself, or you have, maybe one friend you always talk to about One Piece and the 2 of you know what you are thinking when you say Warlord Level, I mean, go for it, right? I'm not the power scaling police. Who's going to stop you, right? So just go for it. But in circles that are bigger, where people are not really familiar with your terms, I would advise to hold off on statements like that, just so it doesn't cause confusion. That's just so we all understand, because stuff like Yonko level, Admiral level, and maybe even First Commander level, those 3 are always known, right? Those 3 are known across the fan base. Everything else, yikes. But those ones, that's it. So I hope that if you're someone who uses Warlord Level, you will reduce, right? And if you aren't, that's fine. But if you are, if you are that person, stop. It's disgusting. Stop it now. Okay, so the second part of this video is about, power scaling the Warlords and why that shouldn't happen, right? And I think that one thing is just that, look at them. They're very freelance pirates. That's their whole MO, right? is that the world government found these pirates who are very strong, top tiers, considered top tiers in the One Piece world. It was mentioned in the chapter where Kizaru wanted to go to Wano that once the Yonko are on the move, the only two people that can stop them are the admirals or the warlords. So they are considered top tier. And as far as we've seen right now in the story, right, they're just very freelance pirates, except for the Doflamingo family, Buggy and his thing, and Crocodile, right? The rest of them are very kind of go wherever we want, do whatever we want kind of thing. Very piratey pirates. And some of them not really pirates, like Mihawk. Like, what is Mihawk? Is he a pirate? But you see my point. They're very freelance, they're very free-spirited, right? And I think that's just also applying to their level of strength and how much we power scale them, because there is no definitive level for any of them as of yet, right? And I think that not only is that true for what we've seen in the story, but I think that not even Oda knows how strong they are. And I think that above any character in the One Piece world, this applies to the Warlord most, that the Warlords will only ever be as strong as Oda needs them to be for the story. So if you power scale the Warlords and you end up being wrong, you are most likely going to be wrong in the first place. You are probably never going to be right. And even if you are right, you will probably be right not because you read the story the best, not because you understood every moment better than everyone else, only because you guessed their right strength that Oda needed to tell the story. There is no set level. Oda himself mentioned how freelance and how random the Warlords are when he was talking about why he added them in the first place, right? There's a quote from an interview he did, right? And in that quote, he says that when he planned the One Piece story, he originally only planned it for there to be the Yonko and it being a story of how Luffy beat the Yonko. And then all of a sudden, he got this inspiration of having these 7 warlords and that being a part of the whole story and, the journey. And all of a sudden, we've got 20 years of One Piece instead of 5, right? So the warlords are this huge monkey wrench. And I think that they will continue to be this monkey wrench right up until the end of the story. They are not really as planned as Oda would have made them were they an original part of the story. So that being said, the Warlords are just a method of pushing the story further, making the story more interesting. And so Oda will make them as strong as they need to be in order to keep making the story interesting, yet also fulfill the goal he has in his story, right? In telling his story and how long he wants the story to last. So if he needs the Warlords to be weaker than we all think, he will make them weaker than we all think. If he needs them to be stronger, they will be stronger. And I guess that's just that. Which makes sense, right? Because as far as we've seen, the Warlords don't have consistent showings as far as portrayal is concerned. Take Jinbei for example. Marineford, Jinbei, when running away with Luffy, could not stop Akainu, who is someone who is, on Admiral level, maybe a bit above, somewhere there. But come Whole Cake Island, he's able to block an attack from Big Mom, someone who is portrayed as being on Yonko level, someone who has been portrayed to be stronger than Akainu. So why is it that he can stop he can't stop Akainu, but he can stop Big Mom? And there is more stuff. Of course, Oda always hides these things behind the nuance, and Jinbei being a fishman, how injured he was during the war, the fact that Big Mom was hungered, and so people try to use these and make their own explanations of why things are the way they are, when really there is no strength level there. Guys, it's not a thing. Of course, Jinbei is not going to turn out to be Yonko level, but I think there is still a very big vague window which Jinbei can fit in depending on where he needs them. And right now that matters the most, not only with Jinbei but with every warlord, because now the warlords are doing what they want, however they want, and of course running away from the Marines, but they're doing what they want. And we're going to see the effect of having these strong characters go into the world and do what they want. And then probably after that, we'll have the SSG, but that's just something I think in the story, that we'll never have the SSG until we see the true power of like the warlords and their effect of being just free in the seas, like completely free, unhinged. But that's it for this video, guys. Like, please like the video if you like the video. I will not encourage you guys to dislike the video. You can keep on moving on to the next one. If you know someone who needs to hear the truth right now about Warlord Level, about power scaling, please share this video with them. If you have time, please watch one more video. If not, thank you for watching this one to the end, guys. This is King KZ, and I'll see you guys in the next one.